Alter Rebbe had a chassid whose name was Berechvei, a well-known Gaon, an incredible Gaon in fact, who was from the Talmidim of the Vilna Gaon and closely related to the most important Gedolim of Lita at that time. In fact, his mother, Bezivik Sheni, had married the Av Bezdin of Vilna at the time named Reb Shmuel. He was an incredibly great Talmud Chacham. He was the Rav in Babroisk for many, many, many years. He passed away in 1851, something like that, which meant he lived a long time. And he was incredibly respected. During his lifetime, there was no Litvish Rav in Babroisk, only one Rav for the whole Kehila. There's a lot of stories about the Berechvei. But he was Alter Rebbe's a chassid. And the story of his becoming a chassid is very intriguing. It had to do with Avodah. He was this incredible Gaon. And to put it directly, he wanted a relationship with God, not just with his scholarship. And however he wove his way into the clandestine Hasidic group in Vilna. He became one of their members and eventually became, of course, one of their most prominent members. And he finally did what every chassid does. He made a trip to the Alter Rebbe. Now, the Alter Rebbe had a philosophy, had a policy that said that when you visited him for the first time, he would ask you, quote, "Was ist dir schwer?" What are your questions in learning, in nigle, in lomdes? And you would present the Alter Rebbe your shaylos and nigle, and the Alter Rebbe would answer. And that would be that. The second yechidus would be the time when you would propose your avodas Hashem issues, your wish to experience a relationship with God, and you would have what would be, as the previous Rebbe calls it in the Hayom Yom, a yechidus based on Sheresh HaNeshama, the source of your soul, which was an instruction for a lifetime. Why the Alter Rebbe did this, I don't know, but that's the fact. The first yechidus was always lomdes, nigle. The Baruch Mordechai Babroiski came to the Alter Rebbe for his first audience, for his first yechidus, and he came into the Alter Rebbe and he presented, probably on a note, his avodas Hashem issues, his spiritual concerns, his wish not just to practice the religion but to experience it, that the spiritual side of Judaism should work for him. He should feel a closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he presented this paper to the Alter Rebbe, and the Alter Rebbe took the note and he read it. And the Alter Rebbe says to him, quote, "Der Seder da is, als der erste Yechidus, darfst du Matzia sein, was ist dir schwer." Now, I may be not quoting it precisely, but this is the spirit of it. The first Yechidus, you have to tell me your questions in nigle. And the Baruch Bartchei Babroiski said to the Alter Rebbe, quote, "Ich bin nicht gekommen da of them," which means I didn't come here for that. This is a very telling commentary. Now, the Alter Rebbe insisted that he share his questions in nigle, and there's a long story that goes along with that, but that's not where I want to go. The Baruch Mordechai said to the Alter Rebbe, "Rebbe, I didn't come here to resolve my Talmudic difficulties. Understand that being a chassid in those days was very costly on every level, financially, physically, spiritually, socially, familially. People did not become chassidim for some superficial, childish, or material reason. People became chassidim because of what chassidus is truly about, an intimacy with God. They were scholars, some of them were incredibly great scholars, they studied day and night, and they wanted more. They wanted, as Chassidus calls it, the Noisin HaTorah, the giver of the Torah. They wanted a relationship with God. And Chassidus provides that, and Chassidus provided that. And that's what they came to the Alter Rebbe for. So the Baruch Mordechai Babroiski says, I'm plenty scholar, and I know I'm not as great a scholar as you, but I wouldn't make this sacrifice for the additional Talmudism that I'm going to benefit from here. I came here for a way of life. I came here for a relationship with God. And that is truly what Chassidus is about, to make the spirit of Yiddishkeit, which is to have a sense and a feeling of HaKadosh Baruch Hu true and real.